Welcome to Living Chassidus. Together, let's live the Chassidus we learn.
Morning, everybody. Welcome to Chassidus in the morning. 15 minutes to change our lives. Start by giving tzedakah. And we're going to focus on Naval ben Merav. Hashem should have only good, good, healthy, safe. I should come back. And also for all the soldiers and all the people in Eretz Yisroel, that they should continue with the unity, continue fighting till we have a complete victory, which is safety. Till the yidden are safe in Eretz Yisrael, don't have to worry about things coming, people coming. Mitzvah Hashem. Okay. Maamer Yud Chaf Aleph Parak Base. We're finishing it out. We'll finish Mitzvah Hashem today. We'll finish Parak Base. And yeah, we just remember where we're going. I'm trying to understand the idea of how the Chachamim say, according to the Chachamim, we're judged on Rosh Hashanah and Kippur, and that's it, seemingly. And we're understanding how this all works. But we say, on the other hand, everything set on Rosh Hashanah and Kippur is all in Atzilus. It's a Malchus of Atzilus, but it's in Atzilus. It's not in our physical world. According to Rabbi Yossi and Rabbi Nassan, I think it was, it's every day or every hour. So that's understandable. But according to the Chachamim, we're saying that it's not. So we've been discussing this. Then we said once, and we're going to step back. We have to understand how everything works. How is Atzilus in comparison to Asiyah? And on one hand, they're very distant, but they're relatively close. Relative is a relative term. What are you talking about? And we said in comparison to Atzmos, so then Atzilus is closer to Asiyah, to our world. But between our world and Atzilus, and that's sort of the gather where you're looking at it, so then it's very distant. And all this, it's good, it's helpful to learn and to understand, so you really have a better appreciation for God and the miracles of our existence and our relationship with God. And what does it mean when we say that Atzmos Kedar, what you do? What does that mean? The more you know this, the more you appreciate that statement. Anyway, let's continue. So, Hare, bottom of page 301. So, Hare, this is Chadesh. So this, the Chacham was mischadesh from something totally foreign. That's why it's called hischadshus. Chacham is not something totally different than what's coming before it. The Chachma of Bria, on one hand, is very different than Atzilus and the Chachma of Atzilus. But on the other hand, it's also Chachma. Chachma, same, but different. And that's why I was saying it's mischadish through the parsa. Like we explained this discussion, but between Atzilus and the low three worlds, there's a parsa. There's like a curtain. And we said that's like, the example we use is like a mashal. That a mashal is not like the nimshal, something totally different. But together with that, the mashal gives us a way to understand the nimshal. That's what he's saying here. Which is not like the idea of tzimtzum. A tzimtzum is a concealment and a removal of the light. But the parsa, the original light, which is the original light in this case, is chachma batzilus. It's included and it's concealed in this parsa. To create chachma bina. Chachma of bria. So the parsa was saying a parsa is a very different type of concealment than tzimtzum. Just like the mashal, in a mashal, the nimshal is in the mashal. Because the whole thing is that the mashal gives you the ability to understand the nimshal. And with it, it's mischadesh. It renews and makes new the idea by the recipient. Meaning, I'm trying to understand A, and I'm not able to understand it. So give me a marshal, and that marshal helps me understand A. Like we explained, to understand parsa, we need, what is a parsa? I don't know what a parsa means. So a curtain. Okay, what does it mean? There's a curtain, Atzilus, you got Atzilus, and you have a curtain covering Atzilus. So the Chachma can come into Bria. You know, like, what does that mean? So we're saying, so we use a marshal. It's like we use a marshal. What's the marshal? A marshal. And just like understanding a marshal, we understand that we want to understand something. So we give an example from something that's different, but it helps us understand the idea that we're trying to get, receive, or give over. So too. So that's how it is. So too, that's this parsa. That's this so to speak curtain. So therefore, if from the marshal we can understand the nimshal, it means they have a connection. You come from one to the other. Just like Chachma Vatzilus, Mamash Parsa, the Chachma Vatzilus is included in the Parsa. And through the Parsa, it's able to make Chachma of Bria. So in the Parsa, unlike the Tzimtzum, which is concealing it, in the Parsa, it's still there. So too in Chachma Vasiya, in our Chachma, in our physical world, there's some relationship between our Chachma and the Chachma Vatzilus. Mishum Dakol Hu Bechinas Ishtalshus Ilv Alu, who is all coming from this descent, but of Ilv Alu, cause and effect. And meaning the Ilv Alu, when we say Ilv Alu, it means there's a relationship between the cause and the effect. Just like the Marshal and the Nimshal, through the Marshal you understand the Nimshal. That's essentially what we're saying. That is the relation that we have with that Chachma Vasiyah has with Atzilus is what we have a relationship. Yeah, it's distant and it's very far, but it's still connection. You can go from one to the other, technically. Meaning, whereas let's say Yesh Ma'ayin, or it was a real Tzimtzum, so then you wouldn't be able to get back to it. But there's also ultimately there's the parts that makes it. Yeah, and so too, just like it is in Chachma Vasiya, Chachma in our physical world, Chachma Ilah Datzilus, in regards to the supernal Chachma Vatzilus, so too with Chesed of Asiya. So too with the Chesed of Asiya, our Chesed that's in our world is mishtashel also from the Chesed Vatzilus, just like the Chacham Vatzilus, so to the Chesed Vatzilus, and all the levels. But we're going to explain, we're going to go into the Chesed Vatzilus. And therefore, being that the Chesed of our world is sourced in the Chesed Vatzilus, that's literally there. So, for example, Lahavdil Elf Avdal is to use an example, but it's infinitely removed from this example. Mesikus atapuach, the sweetness of our apple, shemushash ba'mazal ruchni. It's sourced in the spiritual mazel, and its original source, chesed ruchni, in the spiritual chesed, which is in Atzilus. So v'harei, therefore, behold, me chesed asiya, nimshachim nishpar min yana ya'ilam, hazeh mamish, the chesed that's in Asiyah, which is helping create and form all the worlds and the physicality. So therefore, the chesed of Atzilus that's set to us on Rosh Hashanah and Kippur is coming down to this physical world. So Shapir, for sure, so therefore, if what we're saying is, which we are saying, that the example of an apple being sweet is coming because of the chesed of Atzilus, So therefore, everything that happens in Atzilus and all the 10 days and ultimately finishing up in Yom Kippur is set for the whole year. So therefore, everything we're meant to be getting is here, because before we made it sound like there's an issue. How can it be that if it's said all year on Rosh Yom Kippur, so why don't you daven every day? So according to the other Rav Yesi, we said it's because it's only in Atzilus. But now what we're showing is, yeah, it's true that it's only in Atzilus, but Atzilus is directly connected to our physical world. The fact that our apple is sweet is because it's coming from Atzilus. So seemingly what is set for the year is set, all done. And therefore, what's the story with davening every day? Seemingly it's not needed and it doesn't do anything because it's already set. That's what he's going to explain. Since the chesed of our physical world is sourced in the chesed of Atzilus, therefore, everything that comes down into our physical world, in the example of chesed, any type of chesed in our world, sweetness, kindness, giving, is all sourced in Atzilus. Therefore, everything that we have in our physical chesed is all coming because of what's happening in Atzilus. And being that we said in Atzilus is everything that is set on Rosh Yom Kippur, so therefore it's already set what we're going to get for the year. Because it's we're saying everything we have here is coming from there. So therefore, if it's already set over there, it means ultimately it's set over here as well. And this is the idea that we're judged for the whole year on Rosh Yom Kippur. Because the chesed that's set for us on Rosh Yom Kippur, nimshach lebechinas malchus, is drawn down to the level of malchus. That's Atzilus. Alright, who koil kol dvarim sheyis afu sheistafu mimenu, and it concludes everything that's going to come from it. So what we're saying is everything that comes in our physical world, which is sort of what we said before, but which we're sort of directing a little differently. That everything that comes in our physical world is coming from Atzilus. Before, we were focusing on the fact, yeah, but in Atzilus it's ruchni, it's spiritual, and now physical world is physical. And therefore, even though it's set for the year, but we need to daven every day to bring it down from that spiritual to the physical. And there's a lot of gateways that's to go through and judgments to see if it's actually shaykh to come today for exactly what I needed. That was what we're saying according to the other opinion. But now, according to what we're saying here, which is according to the Rabbanan, which they say would judge for the year to on Rosh Yom Kippur, on those days. So therefore, what we're saying is that what we're saying now is yeah, but end of the day, it's directly connected, Atzilus and Asiyah. And if they're directly connected, so therefore in Asiyah, whatever's going to happen is coming from Atzilus. So therefore, davening on Rosh Yom Kippur is enough for the whole year, seemingly. And that's what we'll have to explain the answer to that question in the next Maamer. So Atzilus is infinitely distant than Atzmos. The Ein Sham Inyan has spheres. There's no spheres like in Atzilus. In Atzmos, there's no spheres. And the way we have Esses spheres in Atzilus is through a concealment and a removal of the light. Whereas the 10 spheres in the lower 3 worlds come from Atzilus, that parasol is through a parasol. Meaning like this: there's a difference between a parasol and a silica iron. Because what we're saying is between Atzilus, between Atzmos and Atzilus, there's a siluk, there's a removal of the light. But between Atzilus and Biyah, B'riyat and Asiyah, in the lower 3 worlds, there's not a siluk, there's a parasol. What's the difference between the curtain and the silk? The silk is removal, it's totally gone. It's like the teacher teaching, he has to remove all his information and then give something that is shaykh to the child. So that's a total removal, whereas the parsa is a concealment, but it's like a little bit can come through. Nothing, it's deep, because you could, when you focus on these things, there's a lot of levels to go, but that's basically it. That's in the simplest terms. That's also idea parsa. Ubechesed asiya yeshnam hamakirim linyanim megashmim, and in chesed of asiya, the chesed from in our world, ubechesed asiya yeshnam hamakirim linyanim megashmim, so im kein yesh lahem yachas chesed chacham atzilus, and therefore our physical chesed has its source in the chesed of atzilus. And and tomorrow we're going to start to answer the question of, so according to the Chachamim, why do we have to daven every day? If everything's already set, like we said till now. Mitzvah Hashem, we should hopefully people are learning and understanding this. It's a little bit on the deep side, but hopefully this gives us more clarity. And every time we learn this, it's an opportunity. When I learn, I come up with these ideas. And I've learned it, Baruch Hashem, and a lot of times. I'm always excited to learn it, to see another nuance, or get more clarity than what I had in the time before. And again, like I said before, the more you learn this, the more you understand. Now, when someone says to you, hey, Atzmus needs your mitzvah, it's not just one level versus another level. Now you can have a whole 1 second. Whoa, I've learned what Atzilus is. And I've learned how distant we are from Atzilus. But at the same hand, we're not as distant as Atzilus is from Atzmus. Atzilus to Atzmus is way distant, incomparable. And that incomparable distance from Atzilus, which can't even imagine how incomparably distant it is from our world. And that level cares about what I do. It's a whole different experience. Anyway, that much. Have a good day. And to be continued.